The cafe was warm and cozy, a neighborhood place where regulars knew each other's names, and the coffee was strong and affordable. Oliver Blackwell sat alone at a corner table, wearing jeans and a simple button-down shirt, looking nothing like the CEO of Blackwell Industries, who normally appeared in business magazines and financial news. At 41, Oliver had agreed to this blind date primarily to get his sister to stop nagging him about being alone. She'd set it up through a mutual friend, promising someone genuine, and done. Oliver had insisted on meeting somewhere casual, somewhere he wouldn't be recognized, somewhere he could just be a regular person rather than a billionaire. In front of him sat a small chocolate cake with a single candle, the cafe's standard birthday offering. Today was his 41st birthday, and he was spending it on a blind date with a stranger because he had no one else to spend it with. The irony wasn't lost on him. His date was 10 minutes late. Oliver was about to give up when a woman rushed through the door, slightly flustered, with flour dusting one sleeve of her cardigan. "Oliver, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm Emma. The batch of bread I was making at work took longer than expected and I couldn't leave until it was done." She slid into the chair across from him, genuine apology in her expression. Emma was probably in her early 30s, with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail and kind eyes that showed exhaustion around the edge. She wore simple clothes and no jewelry except small earrings. "It's fine. I just got here myself," Oliver lied politely. Emma noticed the birthday cake immediately. "Oh, is it your birthday? Your friend didn't mention that when she set this up. It is 41 today. And you're spending it on a blind date with a stranger. That's either very optimistic or very sad." Oliver laughed despite himself. "Probably more sad than optimistic. But my social life has been ... limited lately." Emma studied him with surprising directness. "You look lonely. Not just tonight. Like, it's been a long time since you had someone to talk to who actually cared." The observation caught Oliver off guard. Most people didn't notice his loneliness behind the success and confidence. "That obvious. I recognize it. I see the same look in the mirror sometimes. I'm a single mother, working 2 jobs. My social life consists of my 6-year-old daughter and the regulars at the bakery where I work. We're both here because someone told us we should try to meet people, but neither of us really believes it will work." Oliver found himself relaxing. Emma's honesty was refreshing after years of people telling him what they thought he wanted to hear. "What's your daughter's name?" "Lily. She's with my mother tonight, which is the only reason I could come. Mum insisted I needed adult conversation that isn't about cartoon characters. Tell me about her, Lily." Emma's whole face lit up as she talked about her daughter, precocious, funny, obsessed with dinosaurs and space. She worked as a baker at a small neighborhood shop during the day and cleaned offices at night to make ends meet. Lily's father had left when she was pregnant, wanting nothing to do with fatherhood. "What about you?" Emma asked. "What do you do?" Oliver had prepared for this. "I work in business, management and investments, mostly. Nothing too exciting." "That's vague. Are you secretly a spy or something?" "Nothing that interesting. Just boring corporate stuff." They talked for 2 hours, the conversation flowing easily. Emma ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, despite Oliver's insistence he'd pay. She told stories about difficult customers at the bakery with humor rather than bitterness. She asked about his life with genuine interest, rather than the calculating questions he usually got from women trying to assess his worth. When the cafe was closing, Emma insisted on splitting the bill. I know we live in modern times and maybe it's old-fashioned, but I don't feel right letting you pay for everything on a first date. It's my birthday. Let me get this one. You can buy next time." Emma smiled. "Next time? You want there to be a next time?" "I do. If you do, I do. But I should warn you, I don't have a lot of free time between work and Lily, and I can't afford fancy restaurants or expensive dates. How about a walk in the park this Saturday? Free and Lily can come. I'd like to meet this dinosaur expert." Over the next months, Oliver and Emma dated carefully. He kept his real identity hidden, introducing himself as Oliver, who worked in business management. They went on walks, visited free museums, had picnics. Lily took to him immediately, showing him her dinosaur collection and telling him elaborate stories about space exploration. Emma never asked for anything, never hinted about money or expensive gifts. She was content with his time and attention. She listened when he talked about the stress of his work, offered perspective when he needed it, made him laugh when he took things too seriously. 6 months into dating, Oliver realized he was in love. He also realized he couldn't keep lying about who he was. He invited Emma and Lily to dinner at his penthouse. The first time he'd let them see where he actually lived. Emma's eyes widened when she saw the building. "Oliver, this is where you live. I need to tell you something. My full name is Oliver Blackwell. I own Blackwell Industries. I'm not just in business management, I'm the CEO. I've been lying to you about who I am since we met." Emma stood frozen in the elegant lobby, processing. "You're a billionaire. You've been dating me for 6 months and didn't mention you're a billionaire. I wanted you to know me, the real me. Not the CEO, not the wealthy guy. Just Oliver. Every other woman I've dated has been more interested in my bank account than in me. You never asked for anything, never cared about expensive restaurants or gifts. You just wanted my time and attention. That was worth more than anything money could buy. So our entire relationship has been based on a lie. The feelings were real. Everything I told you about myself was true, except my job title. I just wanted someone to see me rather than my bank balance." Emma was quiet for a long moment. "I need to think about this. Take Lily home. I'll call you." Oliver spent 3 agonizing days waiting for Emma to call. When she finally did, her voice was measured. "I understand why you hid who you were. I even understand that you wanted someone to see the real you. But you lied to me for 6 months. You let me worry about money, about affording things, while you could have helped. You watched me work myself to exhaustion while hiding that you could have made my life easier. That's not partnership. That's deception. Emma, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. I was afraid you'd see me differently. I do see you differently now. I see someone who values his own comfort over honesty. I need time to decide if this is something I can get past." It took 2 more weeks of careful conversation, of Oliver explaining his fears and Emma explaining how the deception had felt, before they found their way back to each other. "I want to try again," Emma finally said, "but no more lies. And you need to understand that your money doesn't change how I feel about you. I fell in love with the man who spent Saturday afternoons in the park with my daughter. That's who I want, not the CEO." 2 years after their first date at a cafe where Oliver had sat alone with a birthday cake, they married in a simple ceremony. At the reception, Emma gave a speech about truth and loneliness. "When I met Oliver, he was sitting alone in a cafe on his birthday, with a cake meant for one person. I told him he looked lonely, and he was surprised I'd noticed. What I didn't tell him then was that I recognized it because I'd felt the same way, successful on paper, but alone in reality. He lied about who he was because he was afraid of being valued for the wrong reasons. I almost walked away because the lie hurt. But we found our way back because what we built was real, even when the circumstances weren't honest. Sometimes the loneliest people are the ones who have everything except someone who truly sees them. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment about a time when honesty was harder than deception, but ultimately more valuable.